I don't have a question. I am Etubom B.E. I'm an Ekpe practitioner. Obong Iyamba, Ekpe Eyo, that's a very top project. I have been intrigued by the part of the discourse that involves the role of modern religion in the matter of preserving our culture. People worry that Christianity moves against traditional systems, against our culture, against Ekpe in particular. But that is understandable. Christianity has something to protect. It's monotheism, which is not really monotheistic, because there are three gods in one. Christianity rightly observes that Ekpe is pantheistic. For Ekpe, there are three deities. One of these deities, which is perhaps the strongest, most pervasive in Ekpe practice, is Mboko. Mboko is a goddess and encapsulates the entire spirit of Ekpe. There is something to be taught here, because when we go through the history of civilizations everywhere, we find a very strong leitmotif of the female god. And this is not only in antiquity, because I remember that sometime in the 1980s, Anglican women in Europe resolved to stop praying to a male god. That if God was the source of all life, as Mboko insists, then God must be female. So Anglican women in Europe were praying to our mother, which art in heaven. These are the things that Christianity would be very, very uncomfortable with. Because where people apply intellect to the practice of Christianity, they start questioning some of these assumptions. It's a hopelessly male-dominated society. And at the apex of it all, at the spiritual realm, they position a man. How can a man be responsible for the production of life? I ask you. So these are things that Christianity must protect to be able to survive on its assumptions. As to our attitude to Ekpe and other cultural forms here, I think that it is fundamentally a matter of self-respect, or the lack of it. Decolonization was exceedingly difficult in Africa. A lot more difficult here than among other races, because of our perception of the white person as belonging to a superior culture. So it was easy to sell this Christian idea as something that was so special, overwhelming, and all-consuming, because it came from the white people. We don't even want to countenance anything about our culture the moment something like that is presented. So I think that there is something here for our indigenous scholars. I have been most thrilled by the presence of Ivor here. I've listened to Jill tonight, or this evening. I'm also thrilled. On the other hand, always known about Uya. I have paid a lot of attention to him. He said today that when he came, he gave one of his books in Spanish to Ivor. I know that Ivor speaks Spanish and writes it. When he came to me, I gave him Professor Uya's book in Spanish. And he says, well, I know the man. And I, in fact, have finally met him. So, we have in our midst a scholar of very solid grounding. Perhaps as solid as Professor Ekpe himself. So I would want to leave a plea with them, and that is that they should sometimes climb down from the ivory tower and do the practical thing of inspiring self-confidence in us as Africans and as black people, because that really is the problem. It is not what Christianity is trying to do. It is what we're inclined to accept. When we die, our soul is wasted because we're not Christian. Because the white man has said so. We look at a religion founded ostensibly on the teachings of Christ, even though the Christians here don't want to be reminded about the teachings of Christ. They're quite fanatical about Christianity. When Christ started his mission, I'm sorry for this little digression, sir. He's surrounding himself with women. And everything went well for him. The moment he started gathering men, then the trouble started. One of them went and collected money. Peter was always there to challenge him. But one of them went beyond the challenges of Peter and collected money. The moment Jesus ran into trouble, they all ran away. But the women never left. They all ran away. Peter was the last to be hanging around. And when they asked him, "Isn't that your master?" He said, "Look, don't say that." The women were there up to the point of execution. They were the women of Jerusalem who were weeping. Jesus said he would rise after 3 days. The men didn't believe it. It is the women that went to the grave and found that there was nothing there. Even when he had risen, according to the book, and came upon Thomas, he said he was Christ. He said, "Look, don't start that kind of business here. Don't you get me into trouble." He had to show proof that he was in fact the Christ. Also many instances like that of the perfidy of men. Then Paul, who never met him, never knew Jesus, is the one that now came and established the Christian religion. A man who didn't have girlfriends, who didn't have a wife, who was so prejudiced against women, was the one who established the Christian religion and turned it against women. Any woman who is practicing Christianity is there as second fiddle and should think again about the position of the Anglican women in Europe. So, I think that Ekpe has something to teach in this matter of women being the source, being dominant in almost everything we do, responsible for creation, and so on and so forth. But you will not even begin to access this body of knowledge if you dismiss Ekpe because it is yours and comes from black people as satanic. You will not even be able to access it. As far as we are concerned, we can read about ancient teachings in Mesopotamia, in Greece, in Egypt, and so on and so forth, but we don't have any ancient teachings here. If you came into Ekpe, you would find much more material than you would need to do a PhD with. That is the truth. Ekpe was responsible for the first writing in sub-Saharan Africa. And it has teachings in religion, in philosophy, in everything, in history, and all that. And these were things that were devised by our own people. But we have taught ourselves, the white people didn't teach us, to despise things which are black, despise things which are African and belong to us, and to hold tenaciously to things that come from elsewhere, even if it commits the heresy of saying that a man is responsible, is the source of all life. We accept it because it comes from white people. Thank you very much.